Hello and welcome to the channel. Thanks very much for watching. Today we're going to be building a quartz movement, a quartz watch. It's going to look a little bit like a Rolex Daytona and a little bit like a Omega Speedmaster. Because it's quartz, it uses a battery, of course. So first things first, we have to get the battery into the movement. This thing comes, of course, with a battery and a stem separate. And the first thing to do is just put the battery into the movement and then slide the cover on the top. It's very easy to follow. The plus side of the battery, which you can see there, has to go facing up. So don't put it the wrong way around when you insert it, or you'll get it not moving. These are the hands I'm using, just pretty straightforward, straight-edged hands. And there's a look at the movement. And the case has got that sort of Speedmaster type tachymeter on the outside, this time in sort of steel though. And then the dial, quite a nice dial this, it's sort of black and silver as you can see. It's got that sort of checkered finish that Audemars Piguet offer in some of their watches. So it's a bit of a mixture of different types of classic watch this. So step one is to attach the dial to the movement, and this dial is made for a VK63 movement, so the feet are in exactly the right place, so I don't need to cut anything off or use dial stickers or anything. And here's me just showing you where the feet go. There's a little hole in the outside of the movement there, and you just have to press it in directly. Keeping bare fingers off the dial if you can, of course. Just that last foot, this doesn't really quite want to go in. I'm just going to have to mess about with that a little bit just to push it on the edge and get it in. It's in now though. So that's in nice and firm, so that's good. As you can see, this has got hours, minutes and second hand, and then 3 sub-dials. So I'll get to them in the next part of the video, of course. But the first thing I'm doing is winding the movement to get the date to midnight. Just about to swap over here. It's on the 6, going to move to 7. There it is. So that's it on 7, and that means the movement is set to midnight. So the first thing is to set the hour hand at the midnight mark. Now I had quite a bit of trouble with this hour hand, I have to say, and I still wasn't very happy with it by the end of the process. It had a very difficult attachment to the pinion. Just straighten it out here, and then pushing down, and it's not really attaching. So at this stage I'm thinking I might be better off using the mechanical hand presser. So I'll bring that in. It isn't attached properly yet. And I haven't really got a proper movement holder that fits the mechanical presser. So I'm just firmly attaching the movement to this this movement holder. And now I'm putting it under the right part of the presser, the hour part. This is the diameter is 1.5 mils for the hour hand on this, so I'm using a slightly bigger set. It's about 1.8 I think for the actual presser itself, so it should be okay. It's only 2 or 3 millimeters bigger than the actual diameter of the hole. And then if I press down, again, I'm not happy with the hand being straight, so I'm just going to move it back to the midnight position. You can see how loose it still is. And then, there you go. So I've pressed it on not entirely happy with it. I'm trying a few different camera angles this time, so you've got a bit more of a sort of overhead shot. I'm trying desperately to get my great big hands out of the way when I'm filming these things. I'm not finding it easy, but I'm doing my best. I think, well, I'm hoping this is going to turn out a little bit better than some of my past efforts. So now I'm just positioning the minute hand ready to go on, having just dropped it there, but putting it back. I've got the hour hand set on the 9, so the minute hand it'll be on the 12, make a nice little right angle. Just finely tuning the minute hand there, just adjusting it slightly. Okay, that's pressed on reasonably well with the hand presser. Now I'm going to use the mechanical hand presser to make sure I've got the hand nice and flat and level. I'm being quite careful putting it under the hand presser now because it's in the right position. I don't want to just jog it. Just pressing it on. That looks better now. That looks like it's flat. So that's good. So now it's time to move on and put the second hand on, and then all those sub dials. And we'll cover that in part 2, I think. So I'll leave you at this stage, just getting the whole thing ready to move up onto the eye level that I use to put them on. Just as soon as I've checked that there's no alignment problems with the hand and they're not fouling each other. But just getting it all set for the second hand. So I'll pause there, and as I'm moving the hands to midnight and getting ready to put the small dials on and everything, and hopefully see you in the next part. Thanks very much for watching.